to this landing, and just being in the divine channel as it flows, as we are just, divinely guided into the space just so authentically. So welcome. I invite you to close your eyes. If you're tuning in, this is optional, but sometimes it really helps when we connect into the collective, as we are all conduits here. Please don't, Rachel, because you're driving. That's not good. So just attune into the space, into the frequency, as we call upon our guides, ascended masters, our fifth dimensional beings and above. We call in our ancestors and our tupuna. And I'm going to invite you to take 3 sacred breaths with me, in through the nose and out of a wide open mouth. So just a gentle sigh as followed. And with each breath, I invite you to bring in an inhale of peace and clarity, and an exhale of judgment of self. And with every inhale, you're welcoming in a sense of clarity and a sense of belonging. And with that exhale, you are releasing any expectations that are unnecessary for your growth. Okay. So with that being said, we seal this container, and everything we do is here done in the highest form of light. Amen. So I'm seeing the Queen of Pentacles. I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles in reverse on top of the decks. Today I am using my Muse Tarot. We've got the Otherkin Tarot, which is a deep, emotional feminine deck working with animal totems, actually, which is so freaking beautiful. And then I have my Light Seers, which is a really beautiful beginner's deck to work with. Really beautiful illustrations. We've got the Queen of Pentacles sitting up top in her divinity. So this is queen shit. And I feel like that's why this message had to come through today, because there's been so much shift in the last 48 hours that have been so detrimental to your growth. And Spirit's like, if you're not fucking eyes wide open and ears and you're listening and you're switched on, you're going to get fucking left behind. Like, people are hanging on by strings and threads to you. You're cutting so much from yourself. You're releasing yourself from so many spaces and people who have taken advantage of you or haven't seen your light. So you are just stepping into that Queen of Pentacles energy. Underneath that is the Chariot, a lot of balance coming in, coming out of a space of that separation, that duality, and bringing in a beautiful reconstruction energy. We've got the Tower in reverse. Shit is done. Like, Spirit's like, there's no more second chances. You're cutthroat because you're bringing in that balance. We're seeing that with the Temperance. Temperance always is speaking into the angels. There's been a high influx of this beautiful angelic energy, and we're seeing that through the light codes. We're seeing that through the dreamscapes. If you're not dreaming at the moment, then you are emotionally butt fucking yourself pretty much. It's time to do different things in order to get results, because you're just like constantly always tripping over your own feet. Oh, can't make this shit up. We've got the King of Pentacles here. Oh, with the High Priestess underneath him. How divine and wolves have been coming up a lot lately. And I feel like this isn't in a shadow self as in like you're the lamb. Like you're the fucking wolf cunt. That's what I'm hearing. There's this real masculine that's coming out in the men in your life. And if you're not surrendering to your feminine, this is the boat that you're gonna fucking be missing. Like these guys are showing up, and oh, I'm actually shaking because this is so exciting for the feminine. This means this beautiful influx of divine creation energy that's coming through is simply harnessed by your own awareness. And this is where you have to fucking check yourself. If you're in your high priestess energy and the men in our lives are in their divinity, in their masculinity, then there's no need for us to even be looking over the fence to see what they're doing, because everybody in your life is a reflection of an aspect of you, right? The King of Cups. The masculine is really in the feels at the moment. And I feel actually we're going to be tapping into more of the masculine energies, remembering that this is only a small fraction of you because this is a divine feminine reading. So we're not getting caught up in the logics of what is being said. It is more of an interpretation of how you are experiencing your own reality. And that is why this is called an intuitive reading, right? Because you are going to receive the messages that you are resonating with in your body. And this is going to be based on where you are consciously, but most importantly, subconsciously. Okay. So only take what resonates that's coming through. And please check yourself before you take my word as like God, because you are your own God. When we sit in a space of sacred ceremony, and this is stuff that the high priestess knows, and I feel a lot of you, whenever you watch this as well, a lot of you are really learning your boundaries, but also you're realizing how much shit is not yours. And you're realizing how much shit you've actually been so blind to. And this is really where the masculine is at the moment, as he is awakening and coming into this consciousness that there is a divine feminine flow within his energy and the divine masculine. And I say his as in like, take whatever resonates. And this can be like your dad, your fucking neighbor, like it's any type of masculine energy that comes into your frequency. It's based off where you are at within your pillar of light, within your own identity. Core Y-O, like who am I? Who are you? Core Y-Kwe. Going into these really deep currents that the masculine is feeling is bringing up a lot of stuff that has been laid to rest, but was laid to rest in a very childlike energy. So a part of the healing that you are learning and you are seeing within your masculine energy is indirectly being reflected through what is happening in your reality. Okay. So that is how we take radical responsibility of what the fuck it is that you are bringing to the table, which is bringing us back into these energies. You're showing up as the queen. We even have the empress underneath it all, though, right? underneath it all, you are the Empress. However, where are you allowing other people to take shadow over you? There's parts of what you're experiencing, and when you're sitting in spaces where you are bringing awareness in, and this can be with your family, this can be in your workspace, this can be in your relationship, this can be with your children, this can be with your siblings, like anybody. Take whatever layer resonates with you. But there is this ultimate radical responsibility that you're needing to take and create. But it's not negative. Taking radical responsibility of yourself means that you're willing to look at your chaos and structure it accordingly to complement the chaos. The feminine in your reality is feeling very neglected emotionally. We're seeing that with the temperance here. It's that angelic energy. We've got a mermaid tail. So the siren, which is a part of it is such a very, where do we even want to land with this siren? There's so many belief systems that you hold about your own sacred sensuality as the feminine. And this is something that's really, really, really coming out in the collective at the moment. And you may be feeling really challenged in your intimates. And your intimates are the things that you don't share very often. And I often think about like lacy bra and undies when I think about intimates, because those are things that we don't share very often, right? And there are aspects of you that you don't share very often. However, when you're coming into this healing of the sensuality of your feminine, this is the key component to you breaking down those barriers, breaking down those walls, and believing that there are so many parts of you that are being blocked because of the way that you've perceived yourself in the past, but also the things that aren't even fucking relevant to you, but have come through your whakapapa, that have come through your past lives, that are in your DNA. And what's happening when we have this identity is you are coming into this consciousness, if that you don't fucking do it, then your kids are going to have to do it. But they're going to have to heal the shit that you've created for them by not stepping into your power, into your divinity, into your remembrance. And then you become the burden. So then you become the ancestor that never fucking created those conscious decisions, never created those conscious opportunities for yourself because of this like vision. Like whose life are you living? Is this a conscious light form of you? Or are you living in the past versions of your own damn self? And there is this really deep sadness. And I feel like there's just so much sadness from deep, deep, deep layers of inner child stuff that you're moving through. And this is really coming through in how you are relating to other people. Like, how are you showing up in your spaces, in your intimates, right? In your intimate spaces. How are you coming through? And what is it that you are seeking in these intimate spaces? Why are you gathering in these spaces? And when you put the who and the how and the why and the when and the what all together and you come up with your own story, you have to read that back to yourself. Spirit is encouraging you to start reading back to yourself how you're showing up in your life, but also the vision that you're creating, because we can't blame other people for what we're experiencing in our reality. Everything that we are experiencing in our reality is because we are subconsciously calling that in. And if you are not aware, if you are not feeling, if you are not acknowledging how you're showing up in spaces, the spaces are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller for you, because your head is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's not going to be beneficial for your collective when you are serving from that space of shadow. So you need to identify what part of you are you looking at? What part of you is creating the reality that you're living in? What part of you is showing up? Where are your defenses? Do you have any? It's about that deep introspective work. And we've got that with the Hierophant. We're seeing the Dudu, the Owl, right? That deep wisdom, that deep acknowledgement of the crone. Fuck yes. That divinity, that conquering sense of self that you have, that bubbles up within you when you sit in ceremony, when you sit in sacred spaces, when you come into your remembrance. But you can't neglect that part of yourself. And we see, and we are being encouraged by the masculines. The masculines are doing the dirty work all on their own, right? Because I don't really believe, not I, you don't believe that the feminine is guiding. There is definitely a lot of past life energy that you're harboring in your feminine nature, in your knowing, that is creating distortion within your realities. And you're seeing that come through your lineage, right? Your waka papa, your remembrance of that divinity, but who you are. And Spirit's always going to bring you back round when you've been bypassing for so long, when you've been getting lost in things that are actually serving a different type of collective, that is not serving the whenua, that is not serving the land that we are gathering upon. There is a lot of introspective that the masculine is doing that is blind to him. So this is offering you a sense of softening, right? Coming into completion, calling in your ancestors and being like, right, allow me to feel that divinity, that love. I am a taonga. Say that. I am a taonga. I am a gift. I am a gift from my lineage. But you need to know who you are leading. And that has to start with your nest, Divine Feminine. That has to start with your core. That has to start with you. And once you get an idea, you don't have to know it all. Fuck, no one knows it all. No one fucking knows anything, if anything. But there is something that you do know, and that can only be felt within your vessel, but you have to come home to your body, right? 10 of Wands, time to let that fucking shit go, man. Too much burdens, too much weight to bear. And this is, this poor little squirrel is literally crying. It's time to re-establish yourself and stop trying to look for a new. I feel like this is also really triggering. This is just coming back to your inner child, right? Because you're re-nesting. Okay. I feel like I'm actually going to get some more cards on this 10 of Wands. Oh, what are we feeling? What are we feeling? How are we feeling in the chat? Let's read some comments. Okay. Made it to the live. Welcome. I knew it. I'm trying. Oh, yeah, we got this. I've got to go get my card. I'm going to go get my cards out too. Beautiful, Emma. Have you been working or picking up anything? Stop it, juicy as shit. Flames on board before you wreck yourself. Damn. Oh, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. My crown is going off. Oh, fuck yes. We had some Tingalangalands. That's what happened last night. Amazing. Last night was a fucking lit, sexy, potent, sacred priestess ceremonial work, working with the collective, breaking down barriers of intimacy, creating really sacred spaces in the sisterhood, and working with the breath, working with wairua, working with waka papa. It was just so yummy. Emma, yeah, I'm holding 2 more ceremonies in June. I'm actually going to be down in Wellington for a Alavare breath workshop with 2 other facilitators and Shan herself. So come along to that if you can. That is on the 1st of June. And yeah, so that's yummy, 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 yum. Right, let's get back into this. How are we feeling? I can feel myself being pulled in all sorts of different ways. 10 of Wands, and I feel that that's you also. So you are encouraged to continue your feminine rituals, right? What are your feminine rituals? That these are things that you do that create that safety for you to be able to tap in. Yeah, okay. So we're going to be talking about safety now. This is you seeking safety outside of yourself. That's why he's got his house on his back and he's crying. And it's like you always want to abandon shit. And Spirit's like, you need to fix that, mummy. All right. Huge heart activations happening for you at this time. The Magician is coming through, and we've also got the Magician in reverse up top. Oh my God, with the moon. See, and the star. What the fuck, bitch? Where are you? And what are you doing? Like, why are you over here in all of these reversed energies? We've got the Magician in reverse, literally, with the Magician upright. The fact that this is coming out in 2 decks, and I don't make this shit up, like, just fucking, it's magical, you know. The stars, it's Matariki, it's Hinenui Te Po, working with the goddess of death in transmutation, right? We're coming into a huge opening, we're coming into a huge ending and a releasing. And when we work with the cycles and the syncs, even with the breath work, when you are circulating your breath, there is a peak, right? There is a opportunity for you to peek into your cycle and burst out of it. This is work for you that you are bridging and you are just learning how to, but there is a distortion in your 3D reality. And I feel like there are just so many ideas about what is true for you, but then there's also, you're still working through the lineage, the whakapapa. But there's a part of the emotional healing that needs to soften so fucking deeply. Like, you need to stop putting a shell around you because it is just fucking your nervous system, number one, and your intuition cannot land. Like, you're not even in your body in some parts of your divine feminine energy. And this is really normal when we are moving out of a unregulated nervous system space. So it's your human, but you can't bypass the emotional shit. Like, you can't regulate the nervous system through breath work without having the final release. And this is where the somatic processing comes in. So when we're looking at this in a structured aspect, when you are taking the quantum codes and you're bringing them into your 3D reality, what you're doing to ground yourself is regulating your nervous system, because that is embodiment. Breathwork is a series of scientific things that happen to your human vessel when you are consciously grounding and taking in that air, and you are redistributing, right, that earth energy in through your body, through your vessel. When you're not processing your emotions, it's blocking your intuition. And we're seeing that with the moon in reverse. There's no flow. The flow needs to begin with your heart space, your flow. And we see this with the Ace of Cups, right? Healing. Huge heart space activations. Taniwha are really helping with that at the moment. A lot of heart space healing. The divine masculine also work deeply with Taniwha, more so than the divine feminine. And I believe that this is because there are just some things that the feminine cannot comprehend because of the chaos. And when the feminine tries to lead and dictate the masculine, she doesn't become masculine, she becomes hyper feminine. The feminine cannot become a masculine. She is the masculine. The masculine leads the feminine by placing a hand on the back of her heart and allows her to step forward into the world and guide people with her heart. The feminine is a guide. The masculine, when you are working with your own light and your own heart space, you need to total yourself. So you need to get behind yourself, and that is where your masculine leads. If you're trying to lead from your masculine, it is just a hyper feminine state. You can't be a masculine if you are a feminine, right? And as mothers, we are naturally feminine. However, not delving into your lineage, right, into Papa Tuanuku, into Earth Mother, when you are not cleansing and returning your shit back to the earth and owning your identity, core YO, who am I, you know, ko Chelsea ho. That's my native language. Where do your ancestors reside? Whoo! Where do your ancestors reside? What whenua is calling you? Where did your lineage walk? What planes did they discover? Right? What foods did they eat? What instruments did they use in their culture, in their belief systems? What did your family believe? What is your belief system? Who are you? Who the fuck are you, divine feminine? These are the questions that you're asking yourself, that you're trying to logically understand, but it is heartfelt. You can't logically understand your whānau, your wānau. You are the taonga. You can't create structure in something that is meant to flow, right? That's like having rules in meditation, or a big reason why I love working with the breath work that I decided to invest in is because of the freedom that it creates in your body. It is a very masculine, scientific part of being a human, is learning how to breathe, right? But that is not the intelligence of the breath in the body and what you experience in that feminine form. You can't create structure. Otherwise, it's called bypassing. You're learning these things, you're learning these terms because you're learning about yourself, and that is why you're here, right? You're learning how to create more abundance with what you've got instead of constantly seeking outside of yourself, which brings us back to this 10 of Wands. It's time for you to just not just land and bring it down and remind yourself of your own lineage. I'm seeing royal codes coming out, and what we learn with royal codes when we embody those is that there's this just real assertiveness that comes from that into that remembrance of who you are. So this is something that you are really being called to, because there is this detachment from your heart that is creating, you're not able to see or remember why the fuck you've come here and who the fuck you are. And it's distorting a lot of the waters around you. It's distorting your third eye as well. I feel like there also is a lot of head injury energy that is wanting to be cleared. We've also got some back heart chakra. So that's a lot of where your hyper feminine energy is being held. And it makes sense that we are speaking into this space with the divine masculine leading you from the back. If you have that hyper feminine energy on your heart space at the back, then your masculine energy is not going to be able to have that gentle hold with you. So these are things to think about. These are things to honor with yourself. And please take what resonates. Not all of these messages are going to resonate with you. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. You are happy to receive them as you will. Lots of transformations. I see you studying your femininity a little bit more. Maybe that's with me. Maybe that's seeking this outside of yourself in a natural type of way. I'm just going to check my phone. Hold on a sec. Oh. My children will be here soon. So just be really we've got the devil here. She a devil, she a bad little bitch, she a rebel. Just be really fucking careful about who you are dealing with. As we approach this death portal, not all things that linger in the dark are light. So there are creatures that live in spaces that you have previously been in, that you're familiar with, but you're being really fucking tested about what type of human you are choosing to show up as in this human reality. So take note of how you're talking to yourself. Are you being kind to yourself? Are you a kind person? These are things that will influence the direct energy in your frequency. So this is going to affect your home. This is going to affect your vessel, your social media. This is going to affect the children and their energy frequencies and their human realities and what they're perceiving. So it is time to get clear on how you're showing up in your home, how you are leading with your embodiment. What are your practices, right? Get back on track. It's time to show up in your authenticity, as opposed to pretending like you've done shit, but you haven't done it for a really fucking long time. And you're having this with yourself because you're like, God damn it, I can be so much better, but I can't be fucked. Chill the fuck out. It's all good. Times are changing. Times are changing. We're getting good at being good, okay? There's a lot of balance coming in, but you're experiencing a lot of sacral chakra energy. All right, my baby daddies are ringing, so I need to gas it. So thank you. We cut all ties and cords attached to anyone, and we plug them into source so they can receive the ultimate love and light. Please guide and protect us. Amen.